Hello, I'm Peter Higginbotham and welcome to another instalment of the Workhouse in 20 Objects. Today we're going to be looking at this little beauty. This document is a copy of the 1834 Poor Law Amendment Act, a milestone in British legal history. It overhauled the poor relief system that had been in operation since 1601, the old Poor Law, and this document laid the foundations of what became known as the new Poor Law. And if we take a look at the title page, first of all we can see that the Act was passed during the reign of William IV, in the 5th year of his reign, in fact, and it received the royal assent on the 14th of August 1834. And the main thing that the Act did was to create a new body called the Poor Law Commissioners, and there were 3 of these Poor Law Commissioners based at Somerset House in London. Under the new system, the country was divided into groups of parishes called Poor Law Unions, and each of those was administered by a board of guardians elected by the local ratepayers, who are still going to be paying for the whole of this new system. And one of the most important clauses of the 1834 Act was the power it gave to the Poor Law Commissioners to determine if and how poor people got help from their Poor Law Union. That could either be in terms of a handout, out relief, or in terms of entry into a workhouse. And the basic principle was that for the able-bodied poor relief claimants, the workhouse was going to be the only option. When it came to workhouses, the Poor Law Commissioners could order a union to enlarge or convert an existing building. But when it came to building a new workhouse, they required the consent of at least half the guardians or half the ratepayers. And that was a stumbling block that allowed some unions who were opposed to the new Poor Law to put off building a new workhouse for many years to come. So the 1834 Act placed the workhouse firmly at the heart of the poor relief system, particularly when it came to the treatment of the able-bodied poor. Although the 1834 Act was revolutionary in many ways, a lot of things about it weren't entirely new. The poor were going to still be supported from the parish rates, something that went back to Elizabethan times. The grouping of parishes and the election of guardians to run the poor relief system was not a new idea. And the option of making the workhouse the only form of relief on offer went back to the early 18th century. So, the 1834 Act. These few pages really were to have an enormous impact on the lives of poor people in England for the next 100 years or so. Well, that's all for today, and join me again for the next time we meet for an instalment of the Workhouse in 20 Objects.